Well, a proposed broader package of sanctions against Russia stirs controversy. Critics say the new restrictions could hurt the global economy while actually emboldening the Kremlin and its questionable behavior. Here's One America's Kristian Rouz.
A group of senators proposed a new bill to slap additional sanctions on Russia, including that country's energy sector, sovereign debt and supposedly the money of the Kremlin. This comes as a great political gift to Russian President Vladimir Putin, who is expected to pass on these sanctions to the Russian people and capitalize on what he calls certain anti-Russian actions of his overseas partners.
It's your internal political games. Do not hold the relations between Russia and the U.S. hostage of your internal political struggle.
The proposal comes after social media giant Facebook, struggling to cope with a decline in users, removed roughly 30 accounts, allegedly seeking to influence the upcoming midterms. Albeit Facebook said it couldn't track those accounts to Russia, the senators decided a new sanctions package is deemed appropriate.
Well, obviously we need to do more because what we're doing isn't working, or do what we're doing more effectively, target it better. You know, Russia is still violating the rules. They refuse to deal with Crimea, which they illegally annexed. They continue on the eastern border of Ukraine.
The new bill would deepen the restrictions on Russia's energy sector, which has been partially blacklisted since the Kremlin started its war against Ukraine back in 2014. So far, such restrictions have failed to curb or deter the Kremlin's alleged malicious activities due to Moscow's tight energy cooperation with the EU and the ongoing harboring of the Kremlin's money in the US, the UK and Switzerland. Meantime, the Kremlin has stirred anti-American sentiments at home.
This wouldn't be a war between Russia and America or Syria. It will be a global conflict which will wipe out the entire mankind.
As to the proposed restrictions on Russia's sovereign debt, the US Treasury Department has already advised against such a move, saying it could cause negative spillovers across the globe. This as Russia's massive $460 billion foreign reserves are held mainly in US dollars, treasury notes and European assets. Besides, these two components of the proposed sanctions are seen as targeting Russia as a nation, rather than the Kremlin-centered syndicate of transnational corruption.
What I've talked about is we always need to evaluate, are sanctions having the intended consequence? Are they working? Are they changing Putin's behavior so we can make sure we put in place effective sanctions to try and get the end result?
The third part of the proposed new sanctions would be a report on Vladimir Putin's net worth and assets. Such a move could potentially encourage internal dissent in Russia, but Putin's money has been open source information for years, with little, if any, decisive action taken in this regard so far.
I've got this information from my confidential sources.
What figure did you come up with for Vladimir Putin's wealth?
$40 billion in assets, not in cash, of course. I'm still sure Putin is the richest man in Europe, one of the richest men in the world.
Critics say the new Russian sanctions bill in its current form would appease the war hawks among Republicans and pathological Russophobes amongst Democrats, while actually emboldening Putin, capitalizing on the ignorance and obscurantism at home. But it would hardly help achieve its main goal of preventing the Kremlin's ill-conceived foreign policy ambitions, fueled by the plunder of Russia's national wealth.
Putin's money is not held in his own name, it's held in the name of oligarch trustees. And I believe that a simple way to get at Putin would be to seize the assets of the top 100 oligarchs in the West. And I think Putin would quickly come to the negotiating table after that.
At this point, the Washington establishment appears to be more interested in touting its Russia policies as a tool of partisan politics rather than tackling transnational corruption. And all this comes, of course, at the expense of Russian-American relations, both at the level of high politics and day-to-day civil communications. Kristian, Rouz, One American News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.